Hey guys, welcome back to Say What Reacts. We are back again.
Back again.
Back again. Guess who's back? Tell your friends. Anyway, hi. We are back with episode 8.
Episode 8.
Part 8 of the BTS BU Storyline reaction. Yeah. We're on Reflection. Part 5 of the Wings short film, which is RM's Reflection. And then we will also do part 6 after this, which was J-Hope's Mama. Yeah. So, I think Carlos is very much looking forward to this.
I am.
I think he's anticipating this one more than the others.
I am.
Yeah. He really likes RM. RM's is his guy.
He's my man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? I just said something about RM. You're like, oh, me too. Oh, no license.
Yeah.
I was like, fun fact, RM doesn't have his license yet.
We were watching the carpool karaoke.
Yeah, and he's like, me too. And I was like, what is this? Like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Y'all are like the same person.
Yeah, we're kindred spirits.
Yeah,
we're probably
for sure.
from the same tribe.
Maybe.
In the cosmos. Yeah.
Maybe. All right, y'all. Let's do this. I'm super excited to get him into this. I think he's going to enjoy this. Hopefully, I don't put you in your feels too much, but if if I do, if it happens, it happens.
Hey,
what
yeah,
else?
it's good. It's good.
it's good. Thing.
Better out than in. That's what I say.
There you go. All right, let's do this.
The other realm, however, overlapping half our house, was completely different. A loud mixture of horrendous, intriguing, frightful, mysterious things, including slaughterhouses and prisons, junkyards and screeching fishwives, calving cows, horses sinking to their death, tales of robberies, murders, and suicides.
It's a vast difference from the first half. With JK's. You would expect that to merge with Tae's.
Right.
And it didn't.
Right. Well, I don't think we should expect anything.
Based on the prior pairings.
Yeah, for sure.
But now all of a sudden we're getting this new pair.
Well, they're all connected.
Yeah.
And their journey all together. And what I like about this is like he has like that Raven drawing from the very first video, and he tattoos it on himself. In terms of when I was talking about like the guys that burn their pictures and try to run from their problems altogether, like he is he understands to an extent that you can't run.
Yeah.
And he consumed it. It's on him permanently as a constant external reminder.
He burned it, he drank it,
and
he consumed it
on the inside as well too. And then to your point of when V was getting no, was it V or JK who's getting locked up by the police? V. And you notice on this one, when the call does go through and it's locked, he can't get in there and it says liar on the other side. It's all that fallout, that consequence and repercussion of like, it's not that I don't care, and I would never say I would not be there for you. Like I can't.
Yeah.
I tried to be there.
I tried to be there. I couldn't be there.
But
now V's just like, you lied.
Right.
Yeah.
And again it's that external like observation of what we try to do for others, but we can only control.
And maybe that's not
ourselves.
even V saying he's a liar. Maybe that's just him saying.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He's
like,
yeah, I said V, but I'm like, well, no,
right.
that's.
I mean, in the
him.
context of the video, yeah, that's what I mean for sure.
I mean, it could be V too, like thinking you said you'd be there for me and you weren't.
And again,
but if you're not relating it to others, you're just relating it to just his story.
Yeah,
it's him thinking, him being hard on himself because he couldn't be there.
And like I really resonate with.
I
like,
need some Advil.
Like RM
headache medicine.
RM being you're thinking too much.
It might be. My head's hurting.
Like RM, it's also been like very emotional too.
Yeah,
that's very taxing.
Would you like any?
No.
Okay. Pass the headache medicine all around.
Like from a personal experience that I had personally in a situation like that with someone very close to me and my family, that me going on with my life and dealing with my own things.
Yeah.
That life outside of myself goes on as well too. And when I found out some things that had happened, I felt a lot of like remorse and guilt for something that was out of my control to begin with. But when you're with yourself and you reflect, you have to be able to, and it's very important in that caveat of like loving yourself. You can't take on the burdens of everybody. You can't fix and help everybody, but at the same time, you can't take responsibility for others as well too. While we're all on this journey trying to figure like everything out.
And it's also at the end when he's like, I wish I could love myself, and it's like he's trying to fix all these other people, but he's broken inside.
Right.
And
he does a thing that I do a lot personally of like internal reflection to the point to where it gets like overwhelming. You try to figure out what it is or like so you take a mental inventory and you rank emotionally like what's important to you, what you should get over, what you should heal, while you come from a place that is just like terrible and you're a product of that environment and you can't control that either. So there's a lot of things of like, I'm not going to be where I'm from, but there's a part of you like, well, this is where I'm from and I learned a lot of things. So you start becoming like very overcritical and over analytical. I'm so used to like rubbing my face and I forgot my shit's busted, and as soon as I touched it I was like, nope.
I know, you're like, ow.
I was like, nope, don't do that.
Yeah, he accidentally face planted into his desk.
I tripped and fell and caught myself with my face.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yep.
Anyway.
You live and you learn.
Yeah.
But that again, but this is a lot of me projecting a lot of my life on how it like resonates into me in itself. But I also liked when he in the contest and the contrast of the paintings, when we see it the very first time, everything's burning and very chaotic and very surreal and very like out of sorts. He consumes it and it's almost like a little bit of
the color, like all of a sudden it brings color,
the words and the color, because it's all interpretation. Like we all perceive things differently and trying to be there for other people and take on their burdens. But on top of that,
and more writing appeared, and like there's more than just color that appeared.
Right.
There was like all kinds of stuff that appeared.
And it's one of those things that healing other people, you're not really healing them. You're just taking on more of their problems.
Yeah.
And once you get to a point to where you're stuck, to where you realize no matter how much you love them unconditionally, and no matter how noble and sincere and genuine your intentions are, at the end of the day, like you can only really help yourself. And ideally, healing and helping yourself has like a just as much of a healing effect on everybody else.
Yeah. And once you can heal and help yourself, you can then start helping.
And in contrast, others. That's where I feel like RM is kind of like this guide figure to all the boys in the videos leading up to this. And that's my interpretation of these wings things, that this is obviously before the catalyst of I Need You. When that worst dark day happened for everybody. But like you said, in terms of relationship that we did see and how things are, but how they're connecting, like all of them, they're all connected in some shape or form, but it's not the same like, hurrah, sis boom ba, we're on the same team, we can do this, anything that we're used to, or I'm used to seeing with the other storylines and lores and things, and that we were talking about briefly. I don't know if you talked about it on camera or not, but we were just kind of like glossing over of how real these stories and genuine they are in comparison to some of the other lores that we watch, because all the messages are ultimately the same. At the end of the day, the messages are the same of like unity and love and respect and camaraderie and being there for each other.
You know, chasing your dreams.
And chasing your dreams and being free and being right. But this, what BTS is doing, it is
being presented as...
It's being presented in a very real way.
Yeah.
And not to deviate you from your dreams, but I like how they're taking, not the problems, but the difficulties of life. And they're taking that approach over that we can unite and overcome everything, because not everything's like that every day. And I like how they presented that independently with lack of family, or the dysfunction dynamic between the families, the dysfunction dynamic between them as members and friends as well too. I think that's very cool.
Yeah. And
it's very I think we need more of that. We need more of that reality, not necessarily for the theatrics or the dramatic effect, but the very real, that, you know, how true is it that you pick your friends and your family? You can't pick your family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day as well too,
your friends are the family you chose or whatever.
But there's points and times in your life that you realize that how much are they really?
Yeah.
You put that on. We as people put that on them, and they can reciprocate to the best of their capacity. But at the end of the day, we don't know who they are either.
Right.
And how they see us, and how real is this?
Unless you've had that discussion and.
Right.
Yeah, and you know you're on the same page.
Yeah, and that's difficult to even have that discussion.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like, or what happens after that discussion's even have, and then you get a harsh reality.
If they're not on the same page.
If they're not on the same page, or they're just in a place to where, you know, you may perceive it as Armin beating himself up thinking that he's a liar, but that can also be flipped on, you're not there, you let me down, what's going on? You know, that being left to interpretation is it's wide and it's vast in concept, but it's very real and sincere. Like, you can look at that and what that means to you. You've either called that person a liar, or you felt like you've let somebody down.
Yeah.
And you've called yourself a liar. So I like that dynamic, that there is nobody's necessarily good or bad, and nobody's right or wrong. It's just, we're all just trying to figure it out and do the best that we can. And I like that more than all the stories that we've watched so far, even though we've only watched 2 groups. But in everything that they're conveying, like, I like this a lot more. Not just because it's real, it's because that it's something that I've personally experienced, and it's real to me personally on a very deep level.
Yeah.
But I think it's conversations that, not that we just need to have per se with each other, but it's conversations we need to have with ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, really sit down with yourself and reflect, and, you know, and stop.
Pun intended.
Yeah, for real, and realize, like, you know, are you letting the people, don't feel like you're letting anybody down? Are you letting yourself down?
Yeah.
What good are you to anyone if you're no good to yourself? And these are not even harsh realities. These are just realities that we need to touch base on every once in a while.
Yeah. Agreed. When I initially saw, because, you know, I'm trying to connect everything and try to figure it all out, right? So when I initially saw this, I was like, oh my god, that reminds me of the colors that were in Jimin's painting. Mm-hmm. So that's what I immediately was like, why does that remind me of the colors that was in Jimin's painting? Yeah. I'm like, interesting. What does that mean? You know, I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck it all means.
But now, if you think about it, like, with what you know now, because you're kind of reaching back to when you originally
that was when I originally
did it. But now, when you see
it
now, we know that picture that he was looking in front of was not a bright, beautiful picture. It can be perceived as someone that is confused, someone that is hurt, that's someone that is lost, and that's how, like.
Sorry, I just thought of something. No, you continue.
Fire it off. No,
Are you sure?
Yeah, because your ADD is firing.
I know.
It's firing off. Yeah, go for it.
So you know how you said that you immediately thought that the directions were to wherever the painting was, and then you also, so I'm going to Jimin.
Yeah,
and then you also said, sorry, I'm totally hopping back to Jimin because I just thought of something.
That's why I wanted to get this shit.
Yeah, I just thought of something. And you also said that you see that as something to look forward to, which we can go there. It's the one thing in the room, maybe like as a motivation for him.
Right.
But at the very end, he looked trapped in it.
The medication.
Are you?
No, not that I am sure, but
the medication is a J-Hope thing. You've never seen him take medication.
Right.
He's just there being given the Rorschach test, and you know what I'm saying. So,
but it's implied because remember he does that thing. He does it
I don't
twice.
see that as that.
That's
I see
fair.
that
That's
as him
fair.
shutting up.
That's fair. That's fair.
Him making himself be quiet.
That's fair.
That's what I see,
That's
because
fair.
he's when he's given the Rorschach test, he doesn't talk. He just goes.
Mm-hmm.
You never see him communicate.
And they
he's
show
just
him
like
different ones, yeah.
Yeah, and the whole time you never see him communicate, and he looks like he's like just being quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm just like.
But then he does the thing where he reaches in the sky, does the little dance.
Mm-hmm.
He sits down again. He has the smile. He eats the
He
apple.
smirks and he eats the apple.
And they pull the veils up.
But then he looks like he's trapped in the painting at the end.
Right.
Which makes me think that that's not a motivation necessarily.
Or
it's something he feels trapped
with you.
in.
No, I agree with you. And why
I just thought about that. Sorry.
No. I'm glad that you bring that up, because of like, why show that sign, and then when we see him, he's not even there. He's just in a backdrop of that painting, and it's very trippy. It's very like translucent, and there's water moving, but the background is, and he's in the middle of that sun. I think that's like my happy place. If I can't get there, but I know this place is real, how can I make this work? Because I'm not taking this medication for my benefit.
I don't think he's taking medication.
That's fair.
I think because the only medication we've seen so far is J-Hope.
Yeah.
We've seen him have pills and 2 different things,
right.
And then we also saw, just like they've been flashing back to other members in all of these, in Jimin's, he's in obviously some sort of medical place.
Right.
He sees an empty bed. The only other person we've seen with Jimin in a medical facility is J-Hope.
Yeah.
But there's an empty bed beside him. He reaches out to the empty bed. There's no one there.
Yeah.
Flashes the freaking pills.
He's having the pillow fight.
He flashes
with nobody there.
he flashes
right.
the pills. I'm like, that's a J-Hope reference.
Yeah.
If you didn't get it between the pillow fight and the empty bed, it's putting it right there in your face.
Right.
Pills, J-Hope.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But then also,
so I'm like, I don't see Jimin taking medication.
I think that it's kind of like whatever they have separately, that again they're individuals. So how that medication makes him feel versus when we first get introduced to J-Hope in the very first, he's just on rinse and repeat. He's just on the cycle. Like, I'm out here in the world, and this is, and I've already accepted. So it's like one of those things of support system. How I interpreted that he didn't want to be there to get help. I'm put here because I'm a burden. I want to be presentable and palatable so my family can tolerate me. And at first it was like kind of like I'm just sitting here, could just kind
and
of.
You said, and that was for Jimin. You said
for Jimin, yeah. And at the end of like, not necessarily if he's taking the medication or not that he's playing. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to find like my happiness. And if that place is free in that portrait, and when we see him at the very end, like we see the sign get flashed very briefly, but he's not in that area. He's just standing in front of a picture, like you said. He's like trapped. So it's like, however he's processing, if he's not going to take that medication, you got to figure it out, because he now is accepting that there is, I don't want to say wrong because that's not fair.
I'm trying to figure out what's Jimin's trauma, right? You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, I think that it's the things of like his parents. He's like an inconvenience. He's a nuisance, and he can't express how he feels. He doesn't know. He doesn't understand, and he's lived his whole life up until that point.
So you think that he's not normal in his parents' eyes, and so his parents are making him do all this stuff,
and like with the,
and he's just going through the motion to be
quotes
normal.
from Damien leading up to this, to where it's just like the family, mom and
perfect,
dad
basically
was perfect, and we provide them with, we are strict, but it is coming from a place of love. So when you're in a situation where you don't understand how you feel, and you're being a burden on your parents because they're thinking we're doing everything that we can, we're trying to get you help, but the help that they're giving, you're not able to express because you don't know what's wrong with you, and you didn't know that it was a problem until people started feeling uncomfortable and they're doing these tests, and then he meets somebody that's there as well, but that situation and circumstance is different.
Sorry we went back to Jimin.
That's fair.
You know, as you watch these, you
had a brainwave. Have to get on.
You really relate to one from one to the other,
yeah.
And okay. So you want to move on to J-Hope, or we want to talk about RM?
We're good.
You're
good.
This
is good. Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to J-Hope's.
And one thing before we move on from here, I like that when he's like in his little domicile or whatever, and that it's empty and he's secluded by himself, but like the thoughts and his emotions, what he's dealing with internally, was so loud it broke all the glass.
Right.
In that reflection.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that's
so
like
loud. It's like.
Or it's just so powerful. Not even like a loud thing. It's just while you're reflecting, like that's like it's a break.
Yeah.
It's a manic episode, a psychotic break, or whatever.
And that's
it's just
how
something.
they're
Yeah.
showing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did find it interesting though. Do you remember when the glass broke? Do you remember it dropping on the ground and shattering? Do you remember seeing that in Tay's and V's when he cut his hair after he cut his hair, he saw it drop and shatter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely like how we're getting like direct like flashes in relations to one another.
And that analogy that I'm a firm believer of people altogether that were windows and mirrors too. But that image of yourself when it's broken, you don't want to share that with the world either.
After he when he passed out and after he woke up and it's just the inside is just mirrors. It's just reflections. He has to face himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, on to J-Hope. Let me make sure it is at 7:20. Okay, let's go. I will pause on at least one thing in particular here, okay?
With a face that resembled her son's, timeless, ageless, and full of inner strength, the beautiful woman smiled with dignity. Her gaze was fulfillment, her greeting a homecoming. Silently, I stretched my hands out to her.
What's this say? Illogical. Does it say retarded?
Yeah, well, it's a medical term, but look at the assessment.
He's anxious and irritable. He's psychotic. Delusional. And I'm assuming he's like, is that like a yes? Like a Y or no or positive or negative of that circle? Because it's like in parentheses.
I'm not sure, but look at the assessment below that.
Munchausen syndrome.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. And then plan. Did you see what that said for plan?
Oh, I can't read that. I don't know.
Placebo. And I find that very interesting that earlier in the Japanese, was it run?
Yeah.
You said those don't even look like regular pills.
Yeah,
those look like herbs or a vitamin or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as soon as you said it, I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. How do you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. And he's literally plant placebo.
Right.
Like,
was one of the Rorschach texts that
it was.
we got. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was. One of the little cards that they held up for Jim and Eva. And you notice when Jim saw it, he was like...
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't mean anything to him, but...
Right.
So... is correct. His story is, will definitely... More light will be brought to his story, for sure.
Now I'm just starting to think this facility is a fucking sham. Like, what kind of medicine they running in this place? They ain't helping nobody. They're not helping anybody. It's not the boys that are crazy. It's this fucking this hack facility in the mountains was fucking everybody up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting touch that we actually get to see a entity of administering some type of medicine on him versus the other one. It's like automated. He's sitting there by himself.
Yeah. He's
isolated.
This one is actually people, like a doctor,
but
diagnosing him with nothing, basically.
Or
like, I mean,
I hate to do all this, but now like just stepping outside of myself as a whole in this personal thing, but kind of delving into the realm of getting the proper help that you need in terms of a delusion. Like, what do you create in your mind? And for us to like escape and how we're processing things like that, because that's interesting. Of like the picture of like that mother holding a child, we also see it in V's and his dream.
V's eye. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that what that means to him, what his life would have been.
I feel like it also kind of sort of looked like the picture.
And that art style, yeah.
No, that V had that he crumpled up.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's a. From what I thought it was like his mom.
You said his him and his mom.
You're right.
I was like.
Yeah, but I don't know the age difference between the daughter and all that stuff, or his sister, and things. So this is very, very interesting, because again, I feel like we're getting independent perceptions. Even the doctor like being there and having all of those things, it's kind of like the opposite effect of, if everything is psychosomatic with this kid, we're going to give him placebos and all that, but if you're creating that in his mind, if he's creating that for his coping mechanism in his mind, and the quotes of coming in of like the mother having an idea of her son, when she looks at him, she just remembers the best and what she projects and invests in him, and not who he is as a person. But I haven't read Damien either, so I don't know how that story plays out in that regard, of that kind of like, not even of coming of age, is that situations and circumstances change when you grow and you evolve and you experience things altogether, that your parents believe they do the best to raise you. You believe that there is something lacking, or you agree, but then something in life happens to where it kind of tilts that perspective altogether. So like me seeing this and not automatically saying, like, to me, I still feel like maybe that doctor is not even real, because we haven't seen everyone that we have seen like an outside thing. Even like with the car, we just see the guy's hand outside the window, but we don't know who is in that car and who is that actually tied to. These are just all. I think
the cop's the only one outside person that you saw.
And we don't even really see their face
for
like the cop. And even like with the dad, even though we know what the dad looks like, and if for a brief moment, like we see.
In the films, you don't see him, even though it showed him drinking, but it didn't really show his actual face.
But in the opposite, we see his sister.
You saw the sister.
We see the sister like very, very well. Because remember when I first saw that, I was like, is that his mom getting beat up?
Yeah, you couldn't tell at first.
I couldn't tell at first.
Until I paused it, you're like, oh, that's school uniform.
Yeah. But in this, they take that time to where what's important to him.
Right.
But and like with the father, but in the I Need You video originally, it's very focused on the father. We know who that guy is for sure. So I think this is.
And maybe they just didn't focus on him because they couldn't get the same actor. Who fucking knows? I mean, like it could be just that simple.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? But I
mean, with their track record, there's probably some of that works for.
Possibly.
For Big Hit at the time.
Possibly.
They're all inside.
Might have been a Big Hit staff member at the time.
Yeah. But this is very interesting too. And again, it's like I really perceive like these Wings short films as we're perceiving their individual struggle and their state of mind at that time, because this is the first time, like going back to the reflection video, this is the first time we've seen any vulnerability internally RM is dealing with. Like, when he's smoking a cigarette, he's just stressed and going through the motions.
Yeah.
And
they're all trying to be strong.
Yeah, they're all trying to be strong.
You see a bit of vulnerability when the cage is coming down on V.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck.
Yeah, and you see
scared.
that. And you see that in these videos, and that's like what I get from these the most. Not necessarily.
But even RM. not being able to get into that phone booth.
Yeah.
He was upset by
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So I feel like you it is showing you emotion. You know, I feel like all of them are showing emotion.
No. That's what I'm saying in this. In the Wings videos itself.
Yeah.
They're showing that internal emotion because they're by themselves.
Oh,
so they're in their
I see what you're
headspace. Versus like when we're seeing all the other things, even the emotions that they're showing with each other, it's very different from the internal struggle and turmoil that they're dealing with that we're seeing in Wings.
For sure.
And Wings is very focused on what all the members are going through internally, individually.
Definitely.
I like these. These are really cool.
I mean, like, the way they're presented.
Yeah,
like, these
for
are
sure.
insane,
For sure.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they didn't have to freaking do this.
Unless
like,
it's more.
It's not even a full music video.
Yeah,
You know, and it's like, what? They weren't even, like, they give you, like, a little teaser of their song, but it's like they're not even, like, having you listen to their song. Like, it's like, this is literally just for story.
Yeah. And not that, yes, is for story for sure, but also, like, this is greater than entertainment's sake. Like, this is a message to you. Whoever needs to hear this and whoever needs to see this.
And that's why they did it.
Yeah.
But you don't, what I'm saying is, like, people don't do that.
Right, they don't.
People don't do that. Like, this costs money.
Right.
And if they're not going to make that money back, why would you do that? You know what I mean? It's like,
for the love. They're not
I mean,
in it for the money.
I mean, yeah, they are giving you a sneak peek of the song, but I mean, it's like they're not even having you like.
It's almost like a lure. Like they're luring you in with the music, but they're just like, we actually, now that I have your attention.
Yeah.
Or now that you're giving me the grace and the space to share with you for something, this is what I really want to convey.
Yeah.
That we're people.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
And that's priceless.
So freaking cool, man.
Yeah, that's priceless.
I love it. I love the way that the story is presented. I love the artisticness of it all. It's all just so good. Okay. That's the shortest one we've had so far. Look at us. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Next up is Jin. That's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting
Very
one.
interesting one. All right. I will just tell you for Jin's. You're really good at picking up on little things.
Right.
Pay attention.
Okay.
You need to pay attention.
All right. I'll try my best.
All right. All right. So, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know down below if I forgot to tell them anything with these. I will tell you when J-Hope performed Mama on stage, he had this big choir with him. And
you showed me. Oh no, it was in.
No, it was the intro.
Intro, yeah. There was.
But like his mom was actually in the audience.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
She was crying. I don't think I told you about maybe I did actually. I think I might have when Suga. Maybe I don't know. There was a moment where Suga actually is like, they're in concert. And he looks in the audience and he sees his parents and he gets on his knees and he does a full bow to the ground. Yeah. But he just stays there and he's bawling his eyes out. Yeah. And Jimin comes and Jimin,
I think we did see that.
I think so. I can't remember.
I don't know if it was
that was the first
or
time.
Just something, but yeah, I remember that.
That was the first time he ever saw his parents
since he left.
actively support him. They were completely against him doing this. Yeah. Wow. And they never supported his decision. And so that was the first concert they had ever come to. Right. And so he was just obviously very overwhelmed with emotion and bowing to them and then not being able to like get up because he was just crying. He's like I guess that's probably his moment where he felt he succeeded. Right. Like that was probably his personal, moment of like success, I guess. At least in his parents'
for
eyes,
sure.
For his parents' eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But anyway, okay. I'm gonna shut up. If I missed anything, please let me know down below. Did you want to go back and look at? We didn't really go back and look at anything here.
It's pretty straightforward.
It is pretty straightforward, honestly. I think the things that I find interesting is when he looks through the thing and he sees the painting. I just found that interesting how it's like he's trapped inside and he sees this as if this is a beautiful outside world and he opens the door and it's just a painting. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I did find that very interesting. It's almost like kind of like, is he trapped within himself type of thing? Because obviously there's something going on with him, yet there's nothing going on with him. Right. Do you see what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, why is he passing out? Is he really passing out? Is he like if he's not really passing out, then what is he doing? Right. Is he just wanting to get attention type of thing? Right. Like because what is happening? If nothing's happening, then what is happening? Right. Yeah. makes you question, like, well, so what's going on then?
Yeah, and there's levels to that too, and they both have that illusion when they're like in this facility that needs to be shut down immediately because I don't think they're administering properly.
I don't like this facility. Get them out of there.
Yeah. But like he goes out and he's looking at it just almost in the same way I perceived. What's his name? Jimin. Mm-hmm. That it was like an escape.
What's his name?
Yeah, but the same time of like that same similar symbol of like a mother that we see in the picture with V, and he has that reflection in his eye to the point where I thought it was like a subtle touch of not even like mental illness or anything like that, of this tranquil portrait to give you motivation or to be calming and grounding, to give you a moment of solace in this facility or whatever, but it fades into that portrait of a mother holding a child too. Mm-hmm. You know, so I took that as him seeing that portrait is what it really means to him. Like that's his safe space. That's where he wants to. That's where his tranquility is. Even though it's
Jimin or J-Hope.
J-Hope.
Okay.
Because it fades.
Yeah.
It fades into that picture with the name Eva on the bottom and things like that. So I feel like that's what he sees when he looks at this picture. We see it. If this picture, what it is that in reality, and that's a real place. But when he looked at it, that's what it meant to him. It wasn't this peaceful, serene piece of wilderness that you can ground and be one with yourself. His piece is like his mother. Yeah. You know? That's like what I got it, like in terms of that fade and then the Eva and then that last like Rorschach little bump of the Eva on the card. When old boy was looking at it, he was just like, yeah, whatever, bro. All these shits look the same.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If I missed something, please let us know in the comments down below. But please don't spoil anything. Don't be that person.
We'll get there.
We'll get there eventually. I've been there. He will get there.
Yep.
And he's going to read Damien after we watch these Wings short films and see if maybe something changes your perception by reading the book. It may change nothing.
Right.
It may give you a little bit more of an insight to something, but ultimately you might just think the same thing on everything.
Right.
But yeah, okay, that's gonna be it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm hiccuping. And subscribe down below. I would very much appreciate that. And we will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Da 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 da.